We are on lesson 6.3, page 163, Explore Activity 2, using rates to make predictions. You can represent rates on a double number line to make predictions. Janet drives from Clarkston to Humboldt in 2 hours, so suppose Janet drives for 10 hours. If she maintains the same driving rate, can she drive more than 600 miles? Justify your answer. So right off the bat, I want to point out to you that they didn't trick us, but they gave us some information here. She drove from Clarkston to Humboldt. That's 112 miles, and they didn't quite say that in the direction, so you have to notice something in the reading. So it's 112 miles. Then they also point that out to you in the double number line. This thing right here is called the double number line because at the top we've got 1 unit, miles, and at the bottom we've got the other unit, hours. And what you should notice is that the directions said that she drove for 2 hours, and then the picture shows that she drove for 112 miles. Question A says, explain how Janet's rate for 2 hours is represented on the number line. I want to start by saying that for question A here, some students read this and aren't sure exactly what's being asked. So if you had a hard time writing an answer for A, I'm happy to help you. If you did write something, it's probably fine. You can check out my answer and decide if you want to change yours. I'm going to type my answer. Read the question again. It says, explain how Janet's rate for 2 hours is represented on the double number line. Well, if you look at the double number line, you can see that in 2 hours, Janet drove 112 miles. Alright, let's check out question B. Question B reads, describe the relationship between Janet's rate for 2 hours and the other rates shown on the double number line. So the first 2 hours she drove 112 miles, and she made 2 hours. And then what I want you to notice is that the next unit of hours over is 4. And you should obviously notice that to get from 2 hours to 4 hours, you would double that. So that's times 2. And what you should also notice is that the miles would also double. And then the next term over from 2 to 6 would be tripled. And to get from 112 to 336 is also tripled. So you can see a pretty fast pattern. And so we'll go ahead and type in an answer for question B. It says, describe the relationship between Janet's rate for 2 hours and the other rates shown on the double number line. Both terms, and I'm going to write what those terms are, 112 and 2, were doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and the last term is called quintupled, but I'll just say multiplied by 5. And technically that top term, the number of miles, wasn't multiplied by 5 yet. I'm going to let you do that for question C, because question C says to complete the number line. So go ahead and multiply 112 by 5, and you should be able to get that last term. And when you're ready, you can resume the video. You can pause the video now and do that. And when you're ready, you can check your answer. So question C says to complete the double number line. There's only one thing missing, and that's this term right here. It's 560. And there's really 2 ways you could have gotten that. You could have done 112 times 5, which is a quick way to get that. Or some kids notice that along the top here, you're just adding 112. 112 plus 112 is 224, plus another 112 is 336, so on and so forth. So that answer would be 560. So I'm going to go ahead and so we're on question D now, and I'm going to clear the annotations. Bring this down, get those out of the way. Question D says, at this rate, can Janet drive more than 600 miles in 10 hours? Explain. Nope, she can only make it 560 miles in 10 hours. It says explain, we kind of already did that. I would just say 112 times 5 equals 560 miles. Alright, I want you to go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to try the 2 reflect questions at the bottom, numbers 3 and 4, and resume the video when you're ready to check your answers. Alright, so you are ready to check your answers on the reflect questions 3 and 4. 3 reads, in 15 minutes, Lena can finish 2 math homework problems. How many math problems can she finish in 75 minutes? Use a double number line to find the answer. So these are pretty cool, actually. I notice here that, I'm going to just go along the bottom. I notice that we're counting by 2's in the problems. So it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And I notice that we're counting by 15's in the minutes, 0, 15, and 30, and 45, and 60, and 75. And I'm going to go reread my question and make sure I know what I'm being asked. It says, how many minutes, or how many math problems can she finish in 75 minutes? How many math problems is that? That's 10 math problems. Question 4 says, how is using a double number line similar to finding equivalent ratios? So this is actually kind of cool. Let's just pick out really any 2 sets of these. I'm going to go ahead and change color here and pick out 2 sets. Here's a set, and here's a set. And if I just wrote those as fractions, 30 to 4, and is that equal to 60 to 8? And I just ask myself, did I do the same thing here to get from the first term to the second term? And it's pretty obvious that I did. I would say you are, I'm going to type this one, you always multiply or divide each term by the same number. And we don't have to really make it more complicated than that, but you do that with fractions too. If you do something to a numerator, you do the same thing to the denominator. It's the same thing here.